Today is World Kindness Day, so we're going to be talking about kindness in the context of leadership and why it is one of those inner strengths that you want to tap into. Because when you're a kind leader, when you show people that they matter, when you genuinely care about them, that creates connection, creates belonging, and elevates trust. And we all know how essential trust is for good, healthy, functioning teams. So think about it like this. We all want to matter. It's actually something that's neurobiologically wired within us. And that's because we live, we work, we survive in groups. We cannot survive alone. So you can be in a crowded room, someone across the room says your name, and despite that noise, the crowd, you're going to hear it. And one of the reasons why we hear our name is that it triggers that unique automatic response in our brain, which causes us to pay immediate attention. It's a survival instinct because what it does is it helps us quickly respond to the threats, but also to the opportunities that are around us. And research shows that one of the reasons why this happens is it's due to that combination of psychological and neurological factors. Hearing your name associates or activates those regions in the brain that are associated with social processing and self-awareness. So when you think about kindness, when you're kind to someone, when you show them that they matter, that is activating all of those types of regions in the brain. So you want to make it personal, because one of the things when we're interacting in our day-to-day, we are collecting data on people. Every time you interact with someone, they're collecting data on you, you're collecting data on them. And we collect this information such as what we think their personality is, their preferences, their lifestyle, their interests over time. And that then influences how we feel about them, how we think about them, and how we actually act towards them. These data points are building a picture that we use to assess that person, whether we like them and whether we ultimately trust them. The challenge, of course, is that as we're collecting those pieces of data, it can be skewed because our brain is filtering information through assumptions and expectations of how things we think they should be or ought to be. So we want to be really careful about the information that we're curating and what we're storing about someone. When we put kindness front and center, we're very clear about the information that we're taking on board. We're very clear about any assumptions or expectations that we might have. We assume good intent. We're focusing on our common humanity, understanding ourselves and understanding the people around us. This is about keeping it human. And that's what kindness does. Because when we're personable, interested in others, that's the foundation for building a really strong, healthy relationship. You know what it feels like when someone's trying to network with you. It feels fake, disingenuous. We can sort of recoil because it feels false. You might remember seeing at some stage on social media those so-called random acts of kindness, and yet people filmed themselves doing it. So it wasn't random and it really wasn't kind because the person had an ulterior motive. You know what it feels like when an opportunity for connection is missed. You might have reached out for support and the request is dismissed. You might feel hurt or sad. And yet people are giving preference to their own discomfort rather than reaching out and being empathic. What this reminds us is what kindness does, and kindness and empathy connect, is that when you're being empathic, you're being kind because you're putting the other person's needs before your own. Kindness is also about cooperation because when you're kind, you focus on how do you cooperate rather than competing, rather than always just putting your needs first. Think about your team. Your team want to feel like they belong. And with people working from home and different types of working arrangements, this is more important than ever. We need to have strong connections with the people that we work with. Avenues to share how we feel, to share ideas, to talk about our experiences. When your team connects, when your team shares, that creates positive energy and motivation. And of course, when they're sharing and connecting, if they're doing it with kindness as the foundation, that's going to elevate how they work together. Many years ago, Australian social psychologist and author Hugh Mackay wrote in his book, The Kindness Revolution, and I'm quoting, "When we are competing rather than cooperating, we're denying the noblest act or aspect of our nature and indulging in the ego-driven desire to win, to maximize the benefit to us, whether financial or otherwise, rather than contributing to human well-being and social harmony." End of quote. We've survived as a species because of our ability to cooperate. We achieve progress, outcomes, because we cooperate. Sometimes the best things in life come from when we cooperate. There's also research which shows how cooperation elevates our cognitive capacity, and that then leads us to get better outcomes, better results on the tasks that are in front of us. When you're cooperating, once again, there's a kindness element to it. So as a leader, on World Kindness Day, I want you to think about, what does kindness mean for me as a leader? What are the acts of kindness that I display in my working day? Are there opportunities at work that I step over because I could be kind, but I'm so focused on what I need that I'm ignoring the needs of others? And what are some simple acts that I can build into my everyday habits, my everyday workday routines, to just be that little bit more kind? Lots to think about this week. Take care. I'll see you next week.